Hello you two, welcome back to another maths lesson. Now, yesterday we were looking at fractions. What fraction were we looking at yesterday? Can you tell me? That's right, we were looking at recognising a half. This is what half looks like. Remember, when something is halved, it is split into two equal parts. We're going to play a little bit of a game now to get our brains warmed up. But before we do that, let's have a look at some of the awesome work that's been sent into our Year 2 email address.
We've had lots of wonderful work in this week about our tally chart, bar chart and pictograms. Well done to Jessie in 2W who's done a super bar chart with lots of lovely colours and answered the questions brilliantly. Well done to Dexter who's done a super pictogram, making sure that he's got a key so we know how many each square is worth, and has done a great job of answering the questions, showing a great understanding of what he's been doing. Well done to Anna Maria in 2CH, who's done a great job of those tally charts, making sure that she crosses that gate to make a 5. And well done to Izzy in 2SH, who has tried really hard to make her pictogram look nice and neat. And I know that she's been working really hard in maths over this time and is super proud of herself, as we all are. She's also done a great job of answering those questions based on what she's been working on. Well done everybody. I've added on 2 dojo points for aspiration for everybody.
Now the game we're going to play is a game that I played with you a couple of weeks ago when we did shape. You will need 2 pieces of paper for this, and on your pieces of paper you're going to write half on one of them and not half on the other one. Pause the video and do that now. Okay, are you ready to play? I'm going to show you a shape on the screen. You have to decide whether that shape has been coloured equally in half or whether it is not half. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, here's the first shape. Have a look at it really carefully. Remember, when we halve a shape or a number or anything, it has to be equal on both sides. It is 2 equal parts. That's right, it's not half. Look at the next one. What do you think it is? Half or not half? Well done. It's half. Okay, have a look at this one now. What do you think? That's right, half. What about this one, Year 2? I bet you won't be able to get this one. Half or not half? That's right, it's not half. They're not equal on both sides. This one? Look carefully. What do you think? Well done. Not half. Okay, last one. Have a look. Half or not half? Well done. That one was half. Now today we're going to be looking at finding a half, and mostly finding half of a whole number. Let's have a look.
Now remember, the numbers in our fractions have names. The top number is the numerator. Can you say that? My turn, numerator. Your turn. Well done. And the bottom number is called the denominator. Can you say it too, Year 2? Well done. Now, I've got 8 marbles and I want to find half. So, the number at the bottom of my fraction, 2, tells me I've got to split it between 2 groups. So I'm going to share my marbles out into my 2 groups, making sure that I share one at a time so it's fair, and making sure that they are equal at the end, a bit like when we divided by 2. I've got 4 in each group, so half of 8 is 4. You could do it with chocolates too. I've got 6 here and I want to share it between me and my friend. I'm going to share them out equally and fairly and see what I get at the end. There are 3 in each pot, so half of 6 is 3. Pause the video now and find 10 objects. It could be chocolates, it could be marbles, it could be counters, it could be socks or pasta. Absolutely anything that you want. See if you can split it equally in half, sharing it between 2 groups. How did you get on? Did you find the answer? Now remember, halving is splitting a whole into 2 equal parts, and we might know some of them off the top of our heads. For example, half of 6 is 3, and half of 10 is 5, which is the one that you've just been practicing. Do you think you can help me? Do you know any of these off the top of your head? Half of 8 and half of 12. If you don't know it, you could always have a good guess. Pause the video and have a discussion. Well done. Half of 8 is 4 and half of 12 is 6. But halves can be quite tricky, and some of them are a little bit harder to remember, so we can use a method to help us. Let me show you. Understanding the fraction is really important when we come to work out a fraction of a whole number. Let me show you what I mean. Now I want to find half of 24. So I'm going to draw a circle to help me. Now the number at the bottom, the denominator, tells me that I need to split my circle into 2. I've got 2 equal parts. Now I've got to share out my whole number. So I've got to share out 24 dots. This is a little bit like when we divide. So I'm going to share out my 24 dots now. Now I've shared out all 24 dots, I've got to think about the other part of my fraction, numerator. The numerator tells me that I only want to count one part of my circle. So I have drawn a different coloured circle around one part and I'm going to count it up now. Can you help me? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So half of 24 is 12. Let's have a go at this one together. We want to do half of 16. So if you haven't already, grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and let's get started. So we're trying to find half of 16. Think about our fraction. We're going to draw a circle, not too big and not too small. And the bottom number, the denominator, tells me I've got to split my circle into 2 parts. Now I'm going to share out my whole number, 16. See if you can do that as well and we'll come back for a check in a moment. Now we've got to think about the top part, the numerator. We're going to draw a circle around one part and we're going to count that part up. Do that to your circle and then we'll come back and see if we've got the same answer. All done? What did you find? I found that half of 16 was 8. Did you get the same? Well done. So the whole is 16 and half of 16 is 8. Let's have a go at one more together, Year 2. This time we want to find half of 28. While you're doing that, have a think. What do you notice about all of the numbers that we have halved so far? Okay, let's do this together, Year 2. So we're finding half of 28. So draw your circle, not too big and not too small. Which part of my fraction is telling me how many parts to split my circle into? Well done. It's the denominator, so I'm going to split my circle into 2 equal parts. Now we've got to share out our whole number, 28. So pause the video and share out 28 dots and we'll come back for a check in a moment. Okay, now thinking about that numerator, we're going to circle one part of our circle and we are going to count that one part up. Pause the video and do that now. All done, Year 2? I had to count mine twice because I thought I made a mistake, so it's always best to check. And I found that half of 28 equals 14. Did you find the same? So the whole is 28 and half of 28 is 14. Did you notice anything about the numbers that we've halved so far? If you haven't, keep having a think about it. Now, we can use what we already know to help us solve fractions with bigger numbers. For example, half of 6 equals 3. So, if I'm trying to find half of 60, do you think I need to draw out 60 dots? What do you think the answer is? That's right, the answer is 30, because it's just got 10 times bigger. 6 has been multiplied by 10, and so has 3. Now it's your turn, Year 2. Here is Chili Challenge 1. You're going to see if you can find half of all of these 6 numbers. You can use our circle method that we've just been practicing to help you. And then you've got a little bit of a pink for think at the bottom. It says, can you halve 11 and still get a whole number as the answer? Chili 2, you're going to do a bit of an investigation. I've put lots of different numbers on the screen. Have an investigation and see which ones you can half equally and which ones you can't. You might want to present it in a table like we have before, with half on one side and not half on the other. See what you notice about the numbers that you can half and the numbers that you can't. And Chili 3 says, Plop has some gummy bears. He circles half of them. How many gummy bears did he have at the start? How do you know?
Thank you so much for joining me, Year 2. Can't wait to see what you get up to. Don't forget you can always send in your work to our Year 2 email address. And keep practicing on Hit the Button, TT Rockstars, Numbots and Mathshed. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!